Morning, everybody, and thanks for having me. I've prepared a nice little address for the last 3 days, and my guides just told me, nah, not going to happen, you have a new topic. So here we go. I wanted to talk on manifesting and the law of attraction, and especially at the end of the year. But I just was asked to just go one step back from that, and it's like, why do we have so much problem with manifesting good stuff for us? Most of us know the theory about it, and you have to imagine it, and you have to feel like it. Everybody read it. Most people saw The Secret and all of that. And what I'm being told is to share with you or make you aware of 90% why our manifestations are not coming through the way we would like to, or better, is because we simply don't believe it. We don't believe we're worthy of it. We don't believe we're entitled to it. We think it's selfish. And lately a lot, working with all kind of people and also family and friends, it's like, I can't just ask for that. That's greedy. Why would it be greedy? What makes you think everybody else deserves all the wonderful stuff? And it's still work. You still have to align yourself with it. You still have to get the energy going. You still have to drop some old stuff in order to make... There's still work involved. So it's not that the manifestation people go around and say, like, you, not you, but you. So it is something we, either way, what we manifest or not, we just did that. And then we sit and we go, like, why doesn't this work? And again, it comes straight back to our belief system. Somehow we believe, and I'm obviously generalizing, that other people deserve everything that we're not really entitled to. And it's okay that everybody else has to be okay before we are. The kids got to be okay first. Even the neighbors, the colleagues, everyone else, you're already falling apart. But hey, I've got 10% left of my energy. Let me invest it in others. And then we are exhausted, we get despondent, we stand on the spot. And why? Because we don't believe it. Then I have people say, Haka, I am manifesting 24/7. It ain't happening. Okay, let's see. Tell me how you manifest. I want to have a successful business, but I don't have the funds right now. There we go. You're giving two statements in one. It's not going to work. Why? Because you don't really believe you should have it, that you can do it, that you are knowledgeable enough, that you are competitive enough, whatever it is that you tell yourself. It always comes down to lowering it. Why? It's our birthright to do that. But the thing is also where it comes in, and this is like a word play I had for a while, it's about the whole concept of selfish. We're funny enough not being seen as selfish as long as we see to everybody else. But anything we relate to ourselves seems to very quickly become selfish. Now, when I came to this country over 20 years ago, I didn't speak a word of English. Some people still wish it would be that way, but anyway. So I had to learn my English here in the country. So the first time I heard selfish, I actually heard self-wish. And I was surprised where everybody has a negative kind of connotation to it. I'm like, nothing wrong with that. Till then somebody finally explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, so I felt all deflated about it. So I left it for a while, and since I'm doing talks and stuff, it's like, no, it should be self-wish. If we cannot authentically wish the best for ourselves, how can we take it upon ourselves to make decisions for all these people we declare to love so much? And it's all theoretical, because we didn't allow ourselves to experience it. So, especially women, I know lots of men as well, but from a traditional point of view, lots of women are being brought up to be the caretakers, which is fine. There's very traditional roles there. But from day one, they're being told, kids in general, you make sure that everybody else is okay. Doesn't matter if you're about to drop off exhaustion or whatever, you better feed that family. You better make sure the washing is done. You better make sure you show up at work and go home accordingly, and you tick all the boxes plus more. And should you have one shred of energy left at the end of the day, you may use it. But don't make it too official, because it's not going to look good. But then the thing is, if I'm supposed as a energy to keep 50 people and 10 environments going there, How's that going to work if I do not know how it authentically feels, smells, sounds, tastes? This is what we want the kids to do. This is what we want our partners and everybody we love are connected to. And when we say like, you got to do that because it's going to do that and that and that, good for you. I know. No, we don't. We know theoretically this is what we should be teaching. We know theoretically this is what we want for them. But are we authentic in that? Do we really know what it is to really love yourself? And is it actually so many women lately, and okay, I work predominantly with women, sorry guys. It's like, okay, it's your time now and you've got to look after yourself. I don't know how. We've never learned that. And that is true because we step from one role into the next. We first the daughters, and then we the siblings, then we are the partner or the wife, and then once the mother comes in, there we are out the window. Or then the father as well. I'm obviously not excluding those. But it's always about the others. And at the same time, we teach a very, very, very actually damaging lesson to our kids. It's okay to step back and not be okay as long as everybody else is. It's okay to not look after yourself as long as everybody else is okay. Now, if I'm the source and I'm supposed to balance everything, where on earth am I supposed to get my resources? I don't. Absolutely impossible. This is against the law of energy even. This is against science. It doesn't work that way. I can't keep on giving out and giving out and giving out. I'm going to run empty. And then what? Guess what? I set up my life around me where I don't think, oh gosh, now I created that. I can't step back from it. You have some people that treat their 30-year-olds like they did their 5-year-olds. I'm like, did you see he grew up? You know, it's like, oh yeah, but you know, I started it 5 years ago when he was 5. Sure, he needed that when he was 5. But guess what? He's now 35. So it's like we don't adapt it and we get so caught in those roles. Why? Because we take them on so easily because we simply don't know how to be ourselves. It's not taught anywhere. 99% of the families, it's not taught, certainly not taught at school or any kind of other official institution as such, but yet we're supposed to pass it on. And this is where we come back to self-wish again. I wish everybody would be self-wish 24/7. And not because it's horrible, but the more I can actually authentically wish the best for myself, create it, manifest it. And at the same time, I'm always going to run on full. Was that everybody around me is automatically going to benefit? Because believe me, if I don't run on full, people around me will know. And we all know. But still, we push through because the others are the focus. It can't work like that. And then the next dilemma is, okay, fine, I'm going to be selfish now. How do I do that? I don't know what my passion is. When I ask people, what's your passion? What do you enjoy doing? Oh, I love my kids. That wasn't the question. I mean, it's good you love your kids. It really helps. But it's like, that's not, what about you? What feeds your soul? Oh, I love watching my kids playing sports. What does feed your soul without a result attached to it, without fulfilling a role, simply because you can, you have to. You the source. If you're not balanced, nothing is balanced. Energy works inside out, not outside in. That's why so many people end up with depression, anxiety, all kind of sicknesses, illnesses, diseases. They cannot shake it because they constantly run on empty. They don't move the trigger. And people are petrified when I tell them, you know, you really need to step back on that a little bit. I'm not saying the person needs to go in your life. Step back a bit. Not only you're not doing yourself any favors, you're actually giving that person wings and say, please don't use them. You might need them later. So not only do we stop our own journey and our own energy from growing and expanding and being who we can be at any given time, we also stop the other people's journeys. Not with clear intent. The intent is good. Outcome is missing the point. So it's like when we carry people for too long, if we care more about others than ourselves, what are we really telling the universe, the world? I'm not important. Tom, Dick, Harry, the people down the road, everybody else is important. I am not. And then we go to step 2. I wonder why our manifesting doesn't work. Because you don't believe it. You might say it. You might go through the notions. You might put things into place and put your vision boards up and do all those things. But you know what? As you look at it, you go like, who am I kidding? I don't even know if that's what I want. Now, how is the universe supposed to match anything if you don't know what you want? But the moment I say to people, okay, please, literally put your order in. The universe is a matching system. And get cocky with it. Because if you get half the delivery, it's still a very good delivery. Oh, I can't do that. Why? Because that's greedy. No, that's manifesting. That's energy. That's the power we have, and that's our birthright. We get so caught up in all those roles that we forget who we are. Source. That's who we are. We define ourselves through a million different kind of roles. I was a daughter, I'm a sister, I was a teacher, I was a counselor, I was this, that, and the next thing. And then somebody years ago asked me, so who is Heike? Right. The one trying to fit it all in one day. And that's not good enough. It cannot be authentic. I work with kids which are highly traumatized. And I'm kind of like, I'm telling them all these wonderful things, and I'm giving them all those wonderful tools that they can get into a better spot. Do I actually really know them? Yes, my brain knows them. Do I know them? Do I know what it feels to be empowered? Do I know what it feels to be confident? Do I know what joy feels like? Do I know what brings joy? That seems to be one of the most difficult questions I ask people. What brings you joy? And you know how long it takes them to get to a point where it doesn't involve other people nor an outcome. We're always in this whole kind of competition thing and in this whole comparison and oh, we're not good enough in this and we're not good enough in that. Oh, and the best one is, I'm such a horrible mom. Every mother thinks they're somehow a horrible mom to one extent to the other. There's 99% of the things that go really wonderfully right as being a mother. Your child is still standing and smiling and breathing. You're doing something right. But no, we are actually going to the 1% that ain't right. And we use that to beat ourselves up. Like we don't already have low energy. Let's just make sure it's completely depleted. It doesn't work like that. I mean, you can try, but you're going to hit the same wall over and over and over again. Unless you believe that it's your right. And with that right of everybody else around you, it's always going to be something you're going to have to chase. It's always going to be something that can't manifest properly. If you want it, want it. Want it from all angles. And this whole selfish thing, I don't get that. I never did. Puzzled me for the last 20 years in this country. And then the thing is, but then we don't want to stick out in the crowd. We want to like still belong. Well, it's okay. But which kind of group of people do you want to belong to? The negative and let's do everything for other people? And it doesn't matter, like the martyr kind of thing? Well, it has some positives for others. Brings some kind of, it gives you feedback as in being needed. But why do I have to have that from the outside? It's wonderful to help, just for the sake of helping. But we get caught in it. And the thing is also with the top 30, like the top limiting beliefs is, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm not worthy enough. Oh, my body isn't ready. I need to get healthy first. I need to get more money first before I can do that. I need to sort that and that out first before that happens. And I'm like, I need to lose weight first before I can do that. You know, the universe doesn't really care about those things. The universe is standing on standby saying, tell me what you want. And tell me and show me how badly you want it. That's all the universe does. The moment you give a clear message, there it is. Quicker than you think. And then it will surprise you, and then like, ooh, that's not too bad. Let's try this again. But we don't dare to put on big orders. Why? What's wrong with that? It has such a ripple effect that we at the same time lift everybody else around us. At the moment, we really just scrape on bottom level with the energy we have in order to get everybody else through. At the same time, we're not teaching the people around us automatically how to raise their energy. Automatically, the higher the energy, the quicker the whole manifestation and everything is. But we stay down there and we go like, why doesn't this work? So-and-so has that and that, and so-and-so does that and that, but obviously I'm not meant to do that. Oh, that's my role in life. That's me for the rest of this life. Or I have to be in an unhappy marriage. This is obviously what I've chosen for this life. No. The first thing you give away is free will. In order to please, in order for obligations, in order to keep the boat afloat, and in order to keep a lot of people around us way too comfortable in order to do their own journeys. It's not because we don't love them, but sometimes stepping back is doing more for them and us than all the running around them in circle has done in the last few years. And let's not forget, if we do not embrace this, if anything, and I often say that to people who feel stuck in the whole selfish thing, because it's obviously something that's been put into us from very, very small. So it's a hard thing to shake. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I'm not going to feel bad about it anymore. That's not how it works, because we have to change a belief system. And what I very often say with that is it might help you to think of it like that. If you do not make sure you are at your best, with that, you're saying, I don't want my loved ones to be at their best. At the same time, what you're saying is, I don't want them to grow and be on their journey. Because if they're not at their best, they're at least not at the speed they could be on their journey. So if anything, if you don't invest in yourself, you are in breach of contract with any and everyone you have a soul contract with. Because you're holding it up. So now we have a different spin. Oh, is that selfish? Like, oops, now I better get going. Because I'm in breach of contract. And all in the name of good intentions. What's good and what's bad intent is also a belief system. At the end of the day, it's our belief system. Do we believe we're worth it? Do we believe that we can manifest it? Do we believe that we at least, if not more, worth it than everybody else? 90% of us don't. And it's a belief system we have. Now, and automatically we act accordingly. And with that, we manifest the outcome. I mean, if you consciously manifest or not, with every word and action, you're manifesting anyway. So you go and like, oh, I feel sick and it's not right and I've got depression. I really want to have that, but I'm not up to it. Okay, the universe hears, you know what? She wants to be on that spot. Tell us when you're ready. And then we keep on turning and it's like, oh, and then some people, I'm generalizing, some people are like, oh, poor me, why does it ever happen, or always happen to me, or not to so and so? Well, let's look what they do differently. They don't stand on the spot. They don't feed themselves negativity. The negative self-talk we have with ourselves is frightening. Absolutely frightening. If we would be as nice to ourselves as we are to everybody else out there, we wouldn't have this problem. We have no problem encouraging any and everyone out there, from kids to adults, even animals, we give them speeches. But then when it comes to us, we kind of like, ooh, I need to lose weight, and ooh, I need to study more, and ooh, I can't keep up with this, and ooh, I can't do that. There we go, we hammer ourselves. Because you constantly compare. So let's start being nice to ourselves. Because whatever we want out there is going to generate it from here. You can put all the most wonderful principles of manifestation out there. It is not going to work, at least not in the form, shape, or speed that you want, if you do not believe it and if you do not align yourself with it. It's time to be self-wish. Get the other word out of your dictionary. It simply does not apply. You're not just not doing yourself a favor with that, but no one. You start adapting that one step at a time. Automatically, it's like throwing a stone into a pond. It can't just ripple one way. It will automatically ripple everywhere in every area of your life. So let's start being self-wish. And please invest half as much time into that than you invest in everybody else, and you will be flying in no time. Thank you.
Thank you. I got a powerful message, and I think a lot for everyone to think of.